Guys, Simon Lien, voice of reason. Right, let's talk about these drones. Everyone else is talking about them, and yeah, I've been watching this quite substantially. First of all, let's get one thing out of the way. These are not aliens, okay? I mean, they got lights, especially red and green lights, which are FAA approved, and I'm sure aliens wouldn't necessarily want to just to link into our regulations. So they're really not aliens. Even though Project Bluebeam is on the cards. Project Bluebeam, for those of you who don't know, is a secret establishment process whereby people are fooled into thinking that it's an alien invasion for the purpose of lockdowns, rallying the populace, all of that. So that's going to be a psyop when that does come, and I think these are preparing people for it, because we're seeing what type of paranoia and what type of impact these drones are actually having on the populace, which is interesting information if you're in the psyop business. So let's look at more practical levels. Everyone expects these drones to be like small, as big as a small chair. Well, they're not. Drones are actually quite large. I mean, some of them are as big as aircraft, especially some of the big surveillance drones. I think this is a new form of a drone that's actually being rolled out by the establishment, by the military. I think that there is a top secret operation going on, which is why most of the Congress don't know about it. Certainly the local police and enforcement won't know about it. The FAA won't even know about it, because these drones are flying under the radar, so it doesn't actually conflict with air traffic control. It does, however, pose potential problems to things like police helicopters, which also would fly under radar, or news helicopters. But this is why they're doing it at night, so that there's very little traffic in the air. I think they're looking for something. I think they're looking for something really important. Now, I've heard rumour, and I think this has been all over the net actually, that there is a potential dirty bomb that's been smuggled from Eastern Europe into the United States. If that's the case, this makes total sense, because A, you wouldn't be telling people about it, why these drones are up there, but those drones are up there sniffing for something, and they can sniff for radiation, and they can actually detect things like radioactive material and potential nuclear munitions. I think this is what they're doing. It's probably in a container somewhere, so it's obviously within that area. We're seeing the port areas. We're seeing it both in California and in the New Jersey area. So I think it's been imported, probably in a container, and they're trying to find it. Now, the other thing about drones is that when they're in the sky, they're very visible. And that's for a reason as well. It means that the people that may be transporting this will be locked down themselves. They won't want to be going out, because they will be detected by these drones. And it'll be interesting to see where these drones overflights are. If someone's plotting them, they're probably undertaking some form of grid search. Now, let's have a look at the potential threat. What's going on today, ladies and gentlemen? The Army-Navy game. And guess who's going to be there? Both the President-elect Trump and the Vice President, and the whole of the Navy and the Army academies. I mean, what a target. I mean, so no wonder they're freaking out at the moment and trying to find this thing, because if something like that went off, that would be decimating for this country, and whoever perpetrated that would be wiped out. But I mean, the country will be gone. So that's a potential issue. The other potential target, of course, is the inauguration. So it's very clear to me that the very highest levels of like NSA, not necessarily the FBI, although it is their jurisdiction, but some very, DIA, DOD, they're all going to be on this at the very highest levels, and of course they're not going to tell the public what's going on. So stop asking, really. Let them get on and do their job. I think it's telling when the authorities say, we don't know what they are, but they pose no threat. Well, that's just bullshit, because they do pose a threat. And if these things crash onto a motorway or a highway or something like that, that's a potential issue. They could crash into anything, you know, residential housing. So they do pose a threat. Of course they do. Any aerial object poses a threat. But I do think that there is something odd about this. We're probably never going to know. This is something, one of those top echelon jobs, which is a real need to know basis. You don't want to freak out the opposition. You want to be able to find them. And I think once they do, we may even never find out about the whole thing, because that just shows there was a lapse in security. So let's just keep on this, but let's pray that today at the Army-Navy game, all that goes swimmingly. Okay, so this is Simon Giselian, Voice of Reason, out to you.